On this week's episode of the Crushing Debt Podcast, summer bodies versus summer budgets. Welcome back to this week's episode of the Crushing Debt Podcast. My name is Shawn Yesner, owner and founder of Yesner Law, and I am joined in studio by your financial coach, George Curbelo. How you doing, George?
I'm doing well. 15, 13, 14. I'm doing some squats here, so just getting ready for this summertime topic we have here, buddy.
Keep up with the bad jokes. I'm going to make you do burpees.
Oh, hey, burpees. I don't know. Who likes burpees? I mean, I don't understand that. But yes, I guess it is that time of year, my friend. But how are you doing, sir?
I am doing good. I mean, as we are recording this, we're getting ready for the Pan Can Walk.
Okay.
But we jumped where we were the number 9 fundraising team in all of Tampa Bay.
Ooh.
We're closing in on about $5,000 raised for pancreatic cancer research and education.
Love it.
So that's good. We will hopefully remain in the top 10.
Yes.
By the time the walk comes. And then as soon as the walk is over, and as our listeners are listening to this week's episode, you know, I've got 2 months out of the year where I've got all the birthdays, June and December.
Nice.
So we're rolling into summer camp season. We're rolling into birthday season for a bunch of my family members. So this topic of summer body versus summer budget.
It's that time of year.
It's that time of year that I got to make sure that I'm all ramped up for summer.
Totally understand. I've been preaching graduation season's right around the corner. It's here, and so we're getting ready for that. We've your proms and all of those things are behind us, but now it's. All the crying is almost done. You know, the babies are graduating.
The crying by the kids or the crying by the parents?
Well, I would say crying by the parents because we're so proud of these kids. And then, now the fun part kind of gets now that the graduations are behind us. But we're so excited. We're so proud of the kids. But yeah, it's that time of year, my friend. It's getting ready for the summertime. I think vacations and beach body. I don't know. I think I'm past the beach body part, but it's good to be healthy, I guess, at this time of year.
You're not past the dad bod part.
Oh, I'm a pro with that thing. Let me tell you that dad bod, I kill it. Let me tell you, I'm killing that every year.
So everybody talks about we need to be ready for summer. We need to have, we need to be ready for swimsuit season.
Yep.
If only our finances could be displayed like a nice
again
suit clothed body.
Good question. Is your budget sporting a 6-pack or is it sporting a nice big keg?
I think my budget is more like a keg than a 6-pack.
Fair enough. So we got some things to work on. So is it ever too late, my friend? Because the summer is right around the corner. You've got day camps and camps and vacations. The weather is getting better and it's nicer now outside, and people just get that summer feeling. They just can't stay cooped up anymore. We got to get out. What are some of the things we need to worry about? But do we have the money for it? Should we care? Shawn, who cares? It's just, you live once. Let's go enjoy the summertime. It's the summertime madness.
I wouldn't have a job. We wouldn't have jobs. We wouldn't have a podcast if people cared more about their finances. And again, not in a negative way.
Not negative.
But in terms of, it does tend to be, people think about, well, summer's coming up. I got to be summer ready. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. Finance stuff tends to sneak up on people.
Yep.
You get into November and it's, oh my gosh, Christmas is coming up. You get into March, April, and it's, oh my gosh, summer is coming up. I think that if you really wanted to do this right, you would have started in January or February planning for summer. But if you're listening to this episode when it comes out, we're thinking middle of May, you may only have 2 or 3 weeks, but that still gives you plenty of time to do a little bit of planning. And maybe you can't do planning to take the mega vacation because you haven't started planning it yet. Or maybe you can't sign the kids up for 6 weeks of summer camp because you haven't saved up enough money yet. Do 1 week of summer camp. Do a vacation you don't have to fly to. Do a vacation you don't have to rent a hotel room for. You drive there, visit local spots. So I think even if you haven't started planning yet for your summer finance bod, there's still things you can do for it.
Well, I mean, think about it. Like, we start panicking around this time where it's like, am I going to look good in a one piece or two pieces, or am I just going to wear jeans and a t-shirt to the beach? I mean, that's some of the things that we kind of worry about at this point. But what are some of the things that come to mind at this time when it comes to our body? And we're going to relate it to our budgets, right? So I got to eat better. It's got to, I've got to get a little bit. Maybe I can, lose some weight just eating better, drinking some more water. Got to hit the gym. Got to go exercise. Go outside. Burn some calories, from that, and of course cutting back, right? Oh, maybe if I don't eat all those Snicker bars on a Friday afternoon, or that donut that I ate, allegedly ate this morning. That's something we can cut. But we think about those things as we start to well, maybe that's going to help as I get ready for the summertime, and the body and how we're feeling. But it's the same. I'm thinking it's got to be the same way to think about your finances, right? Can I eat a little differently? Can I go out a little differently? Can I, what can I cut back on? Just little things to think about.
Well, and can I put together a meal plan so I can better plan out my meals, so I can eat more healthy, so I can lose weight? In the finance world, don't we call that a budget?
Yes, it's a plan, a spending plan. If we want to get really sophisticated with the, but do you really? Come on, let's think about it. You're here in May. Do you really think about your budget from that standpoint going into? Do most people do that? It's more of just no, let's just get on the roller coaster and see where this ride takes us.
No, I typically would be focused on the budget, especially because I hate to say this to people, but now that we're into summer, what's right around the corner is the start of school and buying school supplies and buying school clothes.
All over again. The routine starts again.
Well, not for you.
Not for me. I got one less, and the other one, yes. We have one down, one to go.
But it's that same concept of, I don't want to think about my budget. Well, but maybe if you put a little bit of time into the budget, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be the perfect budget. You don't have to adhere to every decimal point. You don't have to do every single little thing. Just like if you're trying to get your summer bod ready, if you've stuck to your meal plan, if you've had 8 glasses of water a night, if you've slept 7 to 8 hours every night, if you've done all that stuff, having one donut isn't going to kill you. If you stick to your budget, if you plan out your budget, if you look at what expenses do I have coming up, one impulse buy isn't going to kill you. It's where
possibly.
Well, it depends on what the impulse buy is.
It could be big.
Yeah, it could be. But my point is, it's that one thing isn't gonna really derail you if you've done everything else to prepare for it properly.
I agree, but it's all about discipline. In the beginning, it's all about establishing a new routine, a new way of thinking, and it requires a little bit of discipline. So maybe that cheat meal, right? Or that, it's only one swipe. Right, it's no big deal. I think we'll be okay. It could get you into trouble, especially when in the beginning when you're trying to establish a new way of thinking. Those kind of things can derail us going back to just where we're comfortable when it comes to eating, exercising, and and our money. So I would say it's easy to be able to compare the two between what we're trying to do fitness wise and what we're trying to do with our money. But it requires the same discipline in order to really make it work.
Well, and I think that's again, that's where these two areas can be so similar. In other words, instead of the concept of, well, I'll start that diet on Monday.
Right.
You start it today. Instead of the concept of, well, I'll start my new budget the next time I get paid. Put the budget together now.
Right.
There's nothing that says you can't work on it right now. There's nothing that says it's not a work in progress. There's something that a saying that I heard, you build the airplane while you're falling out of the sky. You just start doing take action.
Right.
Take
action.
Movement. Do something. And even if you put together a budget that may not be the most complete budget, even if you put together a budget that may not be the most accurate budget, you're taking action, and that's got to be better than somebody who's just letting it happen.
Yeah, and I think we sometimes also have to be a little realistic in regards to what is the result of the action that we're taking as well. So, because I think of it too as like you're like if I eat one good solid meal and then I expect a six pack, is that is that going to be the realistic kind of expectation? We do that sometimes with like, oh, but I saved what $50 or did something good from a money decision standpoint, but hey, I still spent and spent and spent from the rest of the budget there.
Right. If you're going to save $50, spending $200
Yeah.
because of it isn't a good idea. But if you save $50 and maybe you want to reward yourself by spending 10 of it,
Yep.
I'm okay with that. You still saved $40.
Yep. One thing at a time, my friend. I like that. What are some of the you mentioned summer camps and vacations? Are there other areas where we think the summer wrecks our budget? For me, I tend to forget like it's wedding season.
Yeah.
And wedding, if you get, especially you have a lot of your friends, maybe they're getting, a lot of them are getting married now. Wedding season between May, June, and July. Oh my goodness. Like, can be very expensive to like, oh, I got to rent a suit. Rent a suit. Who rents a suit? You buy a suit.
You rent
right?
a tux.
Right. But the dress, and if you got to get the kids, and you have to go to the, forget if it's a destination wedding. That's another thing. But can you say no?
No. Well, I guess
you
could,
but you probably would not want to.
Well, and I think the analogy there to your budget is, I know for me, the kids are out of school. And so when the kids are out of school, I've got to spend more money on food.
Yep.
Where I wouldn't have bought as much for lunch. Now I need to make sure I've got food in the house for lunch. When I would not have spent as much on dinner, I need to make sure there's food there for dinner. Where breakfast during the school year is, a piece of toast and some fruit and maybe, an egg.
Right.
During the summer, it's a lot more significant than that. Plus, the other thing for me as a solo dad is I have to spend not have to, but I tend to during the summer spend a lot more time at home, working from home. And if I'm spending a lot more time working from home, that changes the budget a little bit. So that's, I think, how the other thing that, I remember when I was growing up, summer camp was 8 weeks, 12 weeks, however long it was. But I went to the same summer camp for the entire term of the summer.
Same here. Yep.
Now, these days, what my boys do is they have multiple of these 1 week summer camps.
Yeah.
So one son's going to a 1 week soccer camp. Both boys are going to a 1 week cooking camp. My younger son is going to a 1 week coding computer camp.
Right.
He's going on a 1 week Boy Scout camp.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all these little 1 week camps that, it's $200 for this camp.
No, yeah, it adds up
$100
quick.
for this camp.
Yep.
$500 for that camp. And it's all these little 1 week camps. And so I also have to find stuff that they can do that's not going to cost as much.
That's the thing. If you're in a position where you don't have the flexible income to be able to send them to multiple camps, if it's not camps, then it's daycare or babysitting or someone's got, because the kids are out of school.
Although from that perspective, I've got a great network and a great community around me, and so even if the kids don't go to camp, I can always probably bring them to a friend's house during the day. And that would be, the equivalent of you're eating salad for lunch to be healthy, to get that summer bod ready. Well, I'm going to send my kids to a friend's house to play with their friends while I'm at work, and save the money of what I would have to spend on a summer camp for that week.
And it's hopefully, I got to make some friends then if that's. But my kids are a little older, so I don't think I just leave them at home now and just be like, go work.
Or I could ask your daughters
exactly
if they want to make a little bit extra
no
money
worries
watching
there.
my kids.
No worries there. My kids would jump all over that, from that situation. So, but it's funny how we have to start thinking about those. We tend to kind of like, well, maybe when we get to that point, we'll worry about it. And I think for me, it's if you're not planning, there's just this stress that we're just creating for ourselves, because it's May goes quick. June, June the kids are out and you need to figure things out. And sometimes those camps fill up. Sometimes a lot of that there's other people who are thinking the same way. So for me, like, being proactive just allows you to not have to worry about those kind of things later down the road. And I think a lot of us I think most of us like to be more in control and charge, and being able to do those things more proactively puts us in that way of like, I can make decisions based off of, where we are now, and we can plan for, I need to save a little bit more. I can, set aside a little bit more for these activities, knowing that it is a few weeks away rather than it's, Monday.
Well, and again, if you didn't plan for it, if you feel like you didn't plan for it properly this year, you can always plan for it next year. One of the things that I was thinking of, the end of April was the NFL draft. Mm-hmm. How did the Jets do?
It's okay. We'll see. I think we're still lose, so don't worry.
I saw a meme, by the way, that said, if you want to watch 32 picks in 3 hours, just put on tape of Tua. From
wow.
Anyway, so you got the draft at the end of April.
Yep.
Then in June, or when all the preseason magazines start coming out, players start reporting to camps in July, June, July. Mm-hmm. August starts preseason, and then the end of August is college football. We're off and running. It goes quick.
Yep.
And so the analogy to your budget is, you buy this thing over here. You buy that summer camp over there. You spend a little bit more on this thing over there, and then at the end of the day, you've dug yourself into a hole.
Right.
So I think it all just comes down to planning and budgeting and accountability and all of that stuff.
Well, we are not doom and gloom, all right? It's it's definitely something to think about, but we have a reset, right? Can we do a reset for folks? Like, all right, now is the time to make the change. I want to get my beach body ready. I want to get my budget ready. What are some of the things that we need to kind of worry about when it comes to a reset, to getting us ready for the summer?
Well, it's all stuff that we've talked about before, and even on this show, on this week's episode before. I think the first step is I would have a plan. Mm-hmm. How am I going to get from here to where I want to be in whatever time frame I give myself? What's my plan? Am I going to eat better? Am I going to eat more salads? Am I going to drink more water? Am I going to put more money away in savings? Am I going to write down what I'm spending on all these summer camps so that I have an idea of what next summer might cost?
Yep.
What's my plan to start tracking? Basically, become aware of what's going on.
Yep.
What's my plan for doing that? That would be my first step.
One thing that I would recommend when we talk about a budget, we're thinking spreadsheets that are 50 lines long, categories and stuff. For a lot of folks, that seems to be intimidating at this point, right? I'm going to say keep it simple, right? Three buckets that we're gonna work with. It's an easy system. You've heard it before. 70-30. It was a 70-20-10 or a 70-30. With just a nice little breakdown of the budget. Of the buckets. One bucket for bills, right? You need money to pay the bills.
Right.
You need one bucket for spending, and we need one bucket for savings. So again, how you break it down from a percentage wise of how much goes into it. So obviously, if you have more debt, you're probably going to have a little bit more money needed for the bills, right? So you want to have a nice kind of breakdown between the three, but giving yourself still room to spend. You're saving, so we're still putting ourselves in a savings mindset where we're still saving, and we have money for both spending and bills. Yeah. For me, I think it's simple, where you're not like, well, how much did I have for food category? How much did I have? It's like, no, guys, like sometimes we overcomplicate these kind of things. I would recommend 3-bucket system, have a percentage of your money go into each bucket. When the money runs out in that bucket, you wait till the next time you get paid. That's simple as that.
Yeah, and I would say to carry through the analogy, make it simple. So they say, for example, if you want to create a new habit of going to the gym, or if you want to create a new habit of running, what you should do before you go to bed is lay out your running clothes, lay out your gym clothes.
Good point.
The minute you wake up, you're staring at your gym clothes. You put them on, you're out the door.
Sure.
I think the analogy there, in terms of your budget, is automate stuff.
Yep.
So have the savings come out automatically.
Yep.
Have those 3 buckets set up, but have the paycheck automatically split between those 3 budgets.
Yep.
That way, you're not even thinking about what's going into savings. It just goes into savings every paycheck. So I think if you can automate it, that's the same as laying your gym clothes out, laying your running clothes out the night before.
Having it right next to you so that you slip right in, do what you need to do. I think it's easy for us to make excuses. I'm tired, or that's not working. I think, how bad do you want it? First of all, in regards to the body, the health. For me, it's health, body, but also from a budget standpoint. Like, okay, we need to be able to have a plan, but we need the motivation. Right? We need something that gets us going from that standpoint. Like, okay, I have a plan that allows me to save a little bit more. I have my gear right next to that motivates me to kind of like, okay, it's time to get up and go.
Yeah.
So I love the idea in both scenarios.
I think step 2 in this process would be to clean up some of the clutter. So when you're talking about getting in shape, you're talking about getting rid of the donuts, getting rid of the cookies,
the purge of the pantry,
purging the pantry to get the bad stuff out of your pantry, out of your refrigerator, throw away the food that's spoiled, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
The analogy when you're talking about your budget is maybe you cancel a few subscriptions that you don't use anymore. Maybe you cut back on a few services that you don't use anymore. Maybe you look at, can I cut this bill down a little bit? Can I change cell phone plans and cut my cell phone bill? Can I change cable plans and reduce my cable bill? Can I look at maybe some of my insurances and see if I can get the same or similar coverage, but maybe for a little less with a different carrier? Or are there other discounts available? Maybe now's the time to start using some of the rewards points on the credit cards to start to offset some of the budget. So as you purge, in order to be able to be more healthy, you can also purge to have a more healthy budget.
Yeah, I think you hit on there. Like, just look for opportunities to eliminate any type of non-essential spending. When we talk about your subscriptions, you really need, again, do we really need 7 subscriptions? I mean, music, do we need Spotify and Apple? I get all of things.
You only need one to listen to this podcast.
That's
either
true.
Apple or Spotify
but
or YouTube.
Subscribe and like
on
on all of them. We'll take them all. But I like that. For me, it's time to be intentional. When you talk about losing weight is one thing, but for me, it's being healthy, right? So eating more, more intentional in the sense of what I'm putting in my mouth, right? Being more intentional in how we're walking or exercising or weightlifting. Same thing with our budgets, right? Like saving more. I'm going to be more intentional in regards to automating my savings. I'm going to be more intentional in eliminating some of the non-essential purchases that I need. Spending limits. The one thing I want people to really recognize as well, this is not about punishing ourselves. This is about putting ourselves in a position where we're giving us the room to grow, our room for opportunity to be able to do more with what it is that we have, both physically and financially.
Right. Well, we've talked about before. Would future Shawn thank present day Shawn for making the decisions he's making?
Yeah, and that's you need the motivation. So for me, it's like, you know what, that donut that I didn't eat, that Friday allegedly, is going to put me in a position where, like, I had the energy to be able to eat a boiled egg or do something like that, and I was able to go walk and weight lift and do what's necessary to keep me going.
Well, and to carry out that analogy, maybe you don't start with ditching the whole donut. Maybe you cut the donut in half. You throw half of it away. You only
throw it half away. What do you? No, I'll just give it to the dog.
I was gonna say your wife, but
no. That's good too. That's a good idea too. But I was about to say the dog is always looking at me when I'm eating. So it's very
the
easy.
analogy there is, instead of going right off the bat saying I'm going to save $1,000 a month,
right?
Maybe you save $10 a month.
That's it.
Maybe you save $50 a month. Whatever it is, take that first step, even if it's a small step. Take that first step.
It's not about crash diets. It's not about crash budgets. It's not about quick fixes. There's no quick fixes in any of these. But I think what we need to try to be, you're not trying to be perfect. We're trying to start something that allows us to be able to see progress in what it is that we're trying to do. Again, I love the goal of like, I'll get the 6-pack, right? Or I'm going to save 1,000 or 2,000 or 10,000, 100,000, whatever it might be. I love setting the goal right? But the question is the goal a dream or is it something that we can achieve? And what are some of the things that we need to change in order for us to be able to achieve these goals either quickly, because a lot of us always want the quick. I want it quick. I'm like, okay, quick might not be realistic, but let's put something that we can start to see progress.
Right. I heard a great saying once, and I want to make sure I get it right. It was something along the lines of, when you set a goal, don't seek to just achieve the goal. Seek to become the person who can achieve the goal. So, instead of saying my goal is to be a millionaire, why don't you make the goal, I want to think like a millionaire.
Right.
I want to become the person that has the drive. I want to include the attributes that give myself the drive, the budget, the accountability to become a millionaire. And I think that's, I get it. I've said to clients all the time, you didn't get yourself into debt. And for most clients, this is true.
Sure.
It's not one transaction that got you
right.
into
It's
debt.
not one. Right.
Now, I guess that might be true if you got like in a car accident or, something crazy like that. But for most of us, it's not one thing that digs us into debt. It's the combination of a whole bunch of little things. And we're not going to get out of it. We're not going to get out of debt with one thing. It's going to be the combination of a bunch of little things.
I would agree, and it's going to be, for me, it's how do we stay consistent with those behaviors, with the plan. For me, it's it's not about doing the exercise or the savings once or twice. It's putting something in place that will keep you motivated and keep you consistent, where you're doing it for a lifetime.
Right.
And I think that's where it's a diet, or is it a lifestyle, right? Is it a quick fix for our finances, or is it something that is it a different mindset that we're looking to do,
right,
so that we can be financially sound, we could be physically sound, spiritually sound, all the good sounds, and just doing this for a lifetime rather than just something that we do on Saturday.
I mean, again, I'll use myself here as the analogy. I was diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic in 2021. And at the time, it was the whole thing. I was giving myself insulin shots once a day, and I had to very strictly watch what I ate in terms of vegetables and water, and cutting out all the carbs, and giving up sugar, and all the things. But now we're 5 years later as we record this. I've cut most of my medicine in half.
Nice.
I've gotten my blood sugars now in a normal level, where even I'm considering whether I need to track it anymore. But
That's great.
It didn't happen overnight.
No.
It was the combination. And I'm back to the point now. There was one morning this week where I was like, yeah, I've been doing good all week, so I'm going to have hash browns with my breakfast this morning.
Sure.
Didn't spike my sugar. I've gone back to having a beer every once in a while. Doesn't spike my sugar. So it's not, I got diagnosed in 2021, and by 2022, I was off meds and eating whatever I wanted.
Doing okay.
It was a slow process, and I'm still not there yet.
No.
So in 2021, I wasn't a millionaire, but I'm on the way. I'm not quite there yet.
You're almost there, but the steps that you're taking, you're intentional with what you're doing, and in both cases, you're going to be a healthy millionaire. So I like that we're headed that way. So it's great. But what's our call to action? What are we telling everybody now? Are we saying take the next 30 days seriously? It is time to do it. Let's get ready.
I think what I'm going to say is wait till day 28 and then go on a crash diet. Will that work?
Maybe not.
No, I agree. Build momentum. Start small. Give yourself praise for doing the small steps.
Yep.
Give yourself a little bit of leeway if you happen to slip up. But start small. Start today.
Yeah.
Take one action today that will help you with your budget.
Today's day one.
Take one action today that will help you with your dad bod or your mom bod or whatever it is you want to call it.
Right.
Take one action after you're done listening to this podcast. Say to yourself, what I'm going to do today in order to help my budget is blank. What I'm going to do today to help my health is blank. And do one small thing today.
Yeah.
Give yourself a reward for it. And then do that thing and one other thing tomorrow.
Right.
Give yourself credit for it.
Yep.
Do those two things and one more thing on the third day. Give yourself credit for it. And over time, you'll build up the momentum that, you'll be a millionaire and you'll be
You're
the
looking
most
good and
beautiful
healthy.
person on the planet.
You're already beautiful to me, my friend, so it's okay. But I love it. Small steps. It's walk for 5 minutes, then tomorrow walk for 7 minutes, and walk for 10 minutes. I think for us, we automatically jump to, I need to be 30 minutes running. I need to be eating kale and all the celery sticks, and it's going to be green, and the bunny rabbit diet. It's just guys, we know that the quick fix is just doesn't work for us. So I think the question is, what are some of the lifestyle changes that need to be made where it's from slow and gradual that then becomes consistent enough that we can then do more. And again, it's not just a Saturday thing. It's something that you do throughout the rest of your life.
There's another funny meme that I've seen a lot recently when I'm flipping around online. And what it says is, I run for 30 minutes every day. And if I don't get my run in, that adds 30 minutes to tomorrow's run.
Okay.
Next week, I have to run for 2.5 months. but
Still funny.
The analogy is, don't try to save $1 million next month.
Right.
Save $50 a month until you get there.
That's it. I love it, man. I mean, again, it sounds daunting, guys, but I think overall, we're here to help. If there's questions, on Facebook, get us on Facebook, send us an email. But what is it that you need help with? In building a plan, we're here to be able to help you build that plan, keep you something that's going to motivate you and keep you consistent with what you're trying to do. But I would say it's time to get serious. Let's start now.
Yeah, not judging. We're
never
here,
judging.
We're here to help.
I only
you.
judge Shawn. That's it.
Only me.
And most judges, they judge you too. So
I'm gonna say it's probably the bald head, but you suffer from that too. So another one of our friends, Chris Krimitsos, wrote a book called Start Ugly, and I love the book. And the concept of the book is, you don't need to wait for it to be perfect to start. You start and you perfect it on the way. So if you're not happy about your summer budget, if you're not happy about your summer bod, don't wait for things to be perfect. Take one step today towards that summer bod. Take one step today towards that millionaire, $1 million in your bank account, and perfect it as you go.
Love it.
So
I think we're good, brother. That was good.
I do think.
I think we need to start our seriousness as well. So we're gonna have to think about. I want to think about that and say, what am I doing for the summertime?
I'm gonna make you do 10 burpees when the show's over.
All right, I guess we'll have no choice.
10 push-ups when the show is over.
Push-ups I can do. Burpees.
Go run circles around my office for 5 minutes. Go run around the building for 5 minutes.
All right. Calm down.
So. The other way that you can motivate us, you can go to patreon.com/crushingdebt. That way you can support us and support the show. By the time you are listening to this, the Pan Can Walk for 2026 is over, but give us a little bit of a break, and we're going to start fundraising again for the 2027 walk, which, if it holds true, will be at the end of April 2027. You can start planning for that right now. And eventually we will hit our goal. My goal is to be number 1 in Tampa Bay.
Nice.
I like being in the top 10. I want to be number 1. So other than that, summer body versus summer budget, one small step, one step at a time. And we hope that you have more money at the end of the month rather than month at the end of the money. And we will talk to you in next week's episode.